What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
So, Comic-Con came and went this weekend, long awaited. We got a lot of good stuff, but here we're here to talk about specifically some of the incredible and exciting Marvel news that Kevin Feige dropped on us over the weekend. Dusty over here was kind enough to package everything up and research all this information, and he's going to deliver that to us now. And we're going to talk about it all. Some stuff we could look forward to over the coming years. Dusty, what do you got for us?
Well, as we were talking about in one of our last episodes, we're at the end of Phase 4. We've got She-Hulk coming up, and then Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Yep.
And that will be the end of Phase 4. And then we have Phase 5. And so the Marvel Comic-Con panel happened on Saturday. And we got a lot of trailers. Well, we got 2 trailers, but everybody that attended got a lot more than that.
I hate that they do that.
That's
shit.
not right, dude.
It's not.
Should be illegal.
That ain't right.
Yeah. So Phase 5, starting off, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So Jonathan Majors is going to be in that movie.
Yes.
But he will not be the only antagonist. We also learned that MODOK is going to be making an appearance.
That is true.
So they'll have a couple of villains to deal with in the start of Phase 5, which will be interesting. Obviously, we know that Kang is going to be one of the big villains in this saga, which Marvel is calling the Multiverse Saga.
Correct.
So we've got that going. So,
you know, during Comic-Con, I was following along with some people who were there, like kind of like tweeting stuff out. And apparently they showed some clips of the movie, and they described a scene between Ant-Man and Kang, and Ant-Man's like, well, I'm actually an Avenger, and Kang says something along the lines of, well, I'm a conqueror, and they described it as chilling.
Yeah, shit. He just got destroyed.
So after that, we'll have Secret Invasion, which the cast have called a darker television show. It's going to be a little bit grittier.
My girl Colby Smulders was there. Now, this, Marvin.
Why is everything a secret in MCU? Secret Invasion, Secret Wars. What's going on here?
Marvin, did you see Captain Marvel? No, right?
Nope.
I'd imagine. Well, in Captain Marvel, we were introduced to a race of aliens called the Skrull, and they have the ability to shapeshift.
Shit.
Yeah, so the Secret Invasion is when a malicious cell of Skrull. They have obviously a much bigger backstory than what I'm explaining to you, but the Secret Invasion is basically, it's discovered that they have infiltrated like all levels of like world government and politics, and even some of even some of our heroes were Skrulls all along, and we didn't know about it. But yeah, Dusty, you were saying they did describe it as a very dark show, a darker tone show, and again, watching these live tweets, people said the clips they saw, this ain't the Nick Fury that we've come to love, folks. He's fucking pissed, and he's had a fucking enough.
That's good. I think we need that in the Marvel world.
Oh, yeah.
This darker show. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they're coming, Marvin. We got Daredevil coming. We got fucking Punisher some down the line. They're coming, trust me.
Ooh, yes. Oh, yes.
And after that, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Shit.
The end of an era. James Gunn and the cast have said this is it. I don't think we may get spinoffs. I don't know if we'll get another Guardians, but
well, James Gunn has said this is going to be his last one. Batista has said this is going to be his last one. So we may get more Guardian stuff, but the Guardians as we know it is over, which is actually sad because James Gunn is a phenomenal filmmaker. He fucking knocked it out of the park with these movies. He knocked it out of the park with fucking Peacemaker. So, but who knows? Maybe he'll leave the door open to come back at some point.
Jim Starlin, who created Adam Warlock, has given his seal of approval for this movie.
Yeah.
He says that the way that they treated the character is great, and he is happy about it.
But yeah, so it seems like a High Evolutionary we're gonna get some backstory between into Rocket's past and something to do with Adam Warlock. So that's cool.
Yeah, and that was so another trailer we have
Now,
several months to wait for.
Yes, and I heard several people, but namely Kevin Smith, talked about they got to see the Guardians trailer, and this might not mean much because Kevin Smith literally cries at everything, but he said this trailer was so moving that it made him cry, and there were few other people who saw it that were corroborating that, so seems like this is going to be a good one.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
That's good to hear.
It's cool that the Guardians, the thread of the 3 films has been about family. And as we saw at the end of Guardians 2, Rocket has trouble basically letting people in and being close to people. So it's only fitting that we get to end this trilogy with some backstory into him and perhaps him finally recognizing this group as his family.
So we're gonna Loki season 2. We'll see
Naturally
what happens, where they pick up after they blew up the timeline. See what the old alligator Loki's up to these days.
Right.
I enjoyed that. I don't know. Did you like that one, Dan?
Yeah, I loved Loki. I thought it was great.
Together. It was
I thought it was great, and I thought it was really emotional too. I know Loki. I think the Loki arc has been one of the best in the MCU so far. I mean, he started out as a villain and then kind of was like, is he a villain or isn't he? And then he got fully redeemed by Loki. And I think he's a great character, and I love the way he's portrayed.
Well, yeah. He's still the master of mischief.
He is. He sure is. But Tom Hiddleston does a really great job at giving us a multi-layered Loki.
Yeah. After that, we're getting the Blade, quote unquote, reboot. Now, you heard Dan in a previous video tell you that Blade 3 was trash.
Yep.
I enjoyed it. Marvin, did you like Blade 3?
I can't really recall Blade 3, to be honest.
It's the one where they fight fucking Dracula, who's like a fuckboy who wears like chains and shit and has no shirt on half the time.
I can't recall Blade 3, dude.
But the Blade trilogy is a fun movie.
Yeah, one of the better like pre-MCU comic book movies out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wesley Snipes did an amazing job.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I don't know if we've mentioned it on the show, but Marvin and I, we watch What We Do in the Shadows, the show. I know you're not like fully caught up on it, but there was one season, I think it was not last season, but the one prior, we're introduced to like this guild of like vampires, and they're like the political body of vampires in each city. And they had Wesley Snipes as one of the like vampire council members. It was just like a funny little Easter egg that like Wesley Snipes is a vampire. But I think I'm so excited for Blade. Mahershala Ali is a fucking awesome actor.
Dude.
I think he's gonna be dope as Blade.
We got a teaser of him as Blade. We only heard his voice, but
yes,
we got it.
Really?
At the end of Eternals. It was good.
Yeah, in Eternals, yeah.
Maybe
now,
he got a little bit more buff.
I'm sure that he's getting that Marvel treatment, boy.
Because he's
he's a skinny guy.
He's a little skinny, yeah. So he got to get a little buff.
Now
he'll put on some weight, and then they'll CGI whatever.
I didn't know that they had officially announced a director, but I'm looking at IMDb here, and Bassam Tariq, I've never heard of him before, is credited as directing Blade. So I guess they've announced it and it's confirmed, but I was hoping they'd have brought back Guillermo del Toro to do the Blade movie. I thought that would have been cool, but guess not. I'll go fuck myself.
Well, and all this is building up to, I'm going to skip over a couple here real quick. This is all building up to Thunderbolts. So
Thunderbolts is going to be the end of the phase 5. Yep.
Correct.
Thunderbolts, Marvin, you look a little bit confused. Thunderbolts.
I'm looking. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
So in the comic books, Thunderbolt Ross he was like the general who he started the Civil War basically with the Wakanda Accords. I mean, the Sokovia Accords.
Betty Ross's father, the man who was the antagonist to the Hulk in the old Hulk movies.
He's been one of the antagonists throughout the MCU. He's like
Yes.
He's the guy who wants the Avengers regulated. Unfortunately, the actor is now deceased. But in the comic books, he forms his own group of basically bad Avengers. They're the bad
Anti-heroes.
It's a group of and we've gotten some hints so far in these shows that that's coming.
He basically is a military man, and he wants the mutants as weapons, or not mutants. I fucking said it. He wants the special powered people as weapons, and not just like running around being superheroes. He wants them. He wants to control them. That's basically what that's all about.
Got it. Okay.
But going back a little bit, we've got the AGATHA show is coming out, Coven of Chaos.
Coven of Chaos.
So we'll get that. Yeah.
Agatha Hark.
What is that?
It was Agatha all on. She was the antagonist in the Scarlet Witch show.
WandaVision.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You got a lot of catching up to do, Marvin.
Yeah. Marvin has not watched, I don't think, any of the Marvel shows. He sticks with the movies, which is fair. A lot of people do that, and I don't blame them for it. But Dan and I are fans, so we go deep.
Yeah. Do you have any more on the agenda? Because there was something I wanted to talk about.
Well, the only other movie is obviously Captain America: New World Order.
Right.
First
feature.
That's the full list. That's the full lineup for Phase 5. We jumped around there a little bit at the end.
Yeah, you missed the announcement that Fantastic Four will be the first of
that's Phase 6.
Phase 6, correct.
Yeah, I didn't miss it.
We're not up to that yet. Okay. Sorry.
That's the end of Phase 5.
I'm excited. I'm jumping the gun. My bad.
Yeah. Also at Comic-Con, Feige announced that Phase 6 will start off with Fantastic Four, and it will end with 2 Avenger movies.
So it's evident that the multiverse phase will conclude with Secret Wars. I think everybody kind of figured that. So it's cool to see it announced now. People were bitching. We bitched a little bit about Phase 4 kind of being a little bit like rudderless. Seems like it wasn't going anywhere. But now we have an idea of where we're headed, and things might start to make more sense as they're starting to come out in order as they are meant to.
Well, they're starting to get their stride back. Phase 4 was disjointed because you had the end of what was a 10-year saga, the Infinity Saga, which how do you top? Right. Which they're going to try to, and they're probably going to do an okay job at doing almost as good, if not as good.
Personally, I don't think
COVID came along,
correct,
and they had to shuffle some movies around. They had to delay a bunch of things. So Phase 4, Phase 4 was like, this is everybody recuperating from the snap, the Thanos snap. So
the blip.
There was just a lot of things that felt weird and disjointed about Phase 4, but it looks like the pacing is starting to get there again.
Personally, I don't think Endgame could be topped. That's just me. That movie was fucking that movie was magical, beautiful.
If you watched all the movies from Iron Man to Endgame, that's like peak cinema.
Marvin, what did you think of Endgame, not having seen all the stuff leading up to it?
What did I miss? I think I saw.
You didn't see the Spider-Man movies because you're crazy.
Oh yeah, I still gotta watch those. It was great. I think as a normie watching these things,
you're not a normie, Marvin.
Some of this other stuff, I haven't heard of it as well. I've heard of some of it, but like a lot of it I haven't heard of.
Right.
Whereas like with this, with that leading up to Endgame, a lot of it is more like widespread. Like, it's not like you have to be like
everybody
a real
heard
comic
of
book
Captain
fan.
America.
Yeah,
Iron Man, Spider-Man, Hulk. Everybody knows who those characters are.
So it's just gonna be probably harder for like people to maybe get as invested because they may not be as familiar with the characters before watching these things. So what are you guys most excited for, would you say then? To top it off.
For me, it's a toss-up between Daredevil and Blade, I think.
Yeah. For me, it's going to be Ant-Man and Blade, and only Ant-Man because I know that Kang is going to be in it, and I really I'm really interested in how they're going to develop Kang because he is the major villain in this saga. So
I'm changing my mind.
They develop him.
I love Blade. With Daredevil, they're doing the Born Again storyline, and hopefully they do it justice. They
Yep.
attempted to do it in season 3 of Daredevil on Netflix, so we'll see what happens with that. But you more or less know what you're going to get with Daredevil. You more or less know what
18
you
episodes.
you more or less know what you're going to
Crazy.
get with Blade. The thing that I'm most excited for is Fantastic Four. We have yet to get a good Fantastic Four movie, and Fantastic Four opens up the door for my favorite Marvel character, Silver Surfer. Please, Lord, give me a fucking Silver Surfer movie. I would be able to walk out of the theater and die happy.
I don't know if we get him in this first movie.
Not in the first movie. No. They will.
They're saving that for the saga after this, I would say.
Yes, the next big villain will for sure be Galactus, but I'm saying specifically, I want, or Doom, one of the two, but I want to see a Silver Surfer origin movie. I want to see Norrin Rad, a scientist on Zenla, pleading with Galactus, like, let my people live and I'll do whatever you want. Oh my God.
Yep.
He's so good.
For me, what I'm most excited for that I'm already familiar with is Black Panther and Blade. But as a casual, things that I'm not familiar with, but I'm still excited for is probably Ironheart, because that seems like it's going to be a pretty interesting story. And the dark one, what was that one? The one that's like more dark.
Secret Invasion.
That seems good.
But there you have it, folks. That's our wrap up of Marvel Comic-Con news. Let us know in the comments section what you're most excited for. We have a lot of waiting to do, unfortunately, but it's fun to speculate. It's fun to get excited and jump on the hype train for this type of shit. So again, let us know in the comments what you're most excited for. You can hit us up on Twitter and let us know there. And I mentioned earlier, we have a website now, harshlanguage.tv. Dusty is going to be curating some other pieces of news for you guys, so you can go to the website and check that stuff out, as well as our latest posts and videos and all that good stuff. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Gotcha.